Black Hoody, I'm back cooking these goodies. Look at these views from cooking these foods. Yeah, fuck with me.
Pretty simple one here for you today, guys. We're gonna make some pierogies. These are very lowbrow. We're gonna make them a little more bougie. Let's dress them up from a 3 to maybe say like an 8.5 to a 9 in the club. 10 is getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. You'd have to be a Polish or Ukrainian grandmother to really execute that 10. In order to get these where we want them, obviously we're gonna have to do some things to bedazzle and accessorize. All right, VV non-traditional, the red onion. If you ever want like a nice long cut, you gotta go with the actual lines. As long as you go along those, right? Boom, boom. Okay, cut the back off. Now you're left with your nice pieces. Now you're gonna say, but Mr. Black Hoody, 2 types of onions for one dish? Like that can't be right. These guys are gonna cook down and become sweet. These guys are just a nice fresh finishing move. It's like a fatality in Mortal Kombat. And that's where you're gonna get fragrant, actual onion flavor. Dunzo. Boom, slap this bacon down. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy made its way into Black Hoody's frying pan. Everybody in for the onions, everybody in for the bacon. Get it all combined and we'll check back on it in a little while once it's nice and sizzling. Halfway mark roughly. We're entering food porn territory now. Onions are becoming translucent. Bacon is, you know, getting sort of halfway there. What do they say? Low and slow wins the race, my friends. Sizzle achieved. So let's get these guys laid out. What are we looking for? For me, I'm looking for a nice little Goldilocks zone. Let's find out. There we go, perfect. Okay, we'll put them on the Lazy Susan right quick. Do a 360 for you, boy. Nice. I'm just gonna add back in the bacon and onion. All right, we're all in the pan together. Everybody's happy, warm and hot. Let's dump these like a bad boyfriend and get them all together like a high school reunion. But ain't nobody at this party awkward. They all love each other. Just an orgy of deliciousness. Okay, enough of that. So you guys know how I roll. If we're gonna eat some bad shit already, let's just make it the worst by making it the best. And grate some cheese on top. This old cheddar on top, melt that on. What do we have to do next? She's gotta go oven side. I will see you guys momentarily. Yes, looking melty and fine. All right, let's get it. Oh. Yeah, what, you guys don't think Black Hoody got the glove? Y'all know Black Hoody got the glove, eh? No glove, no love. All right, okay, let's get sour cream, chives, onto the top of this. Call me Young Dolla, my cooking / rap name. Guys, don't be stingy with the sour cream. Hit it from the back one time. In today's forecast, cloudy with a chance of green onion showers. And again, let's not stinge out. It's all flavor, baby. Final inspection, looking pretty nice. Not too bad, a little messy on the sides, a little greasy, but it's dirty comfort food. How it's supposed to be. All right, what up, world? I need to get right into it, and then a couple things right off rip we got to talk about. I need to discuss with you. I need some of your opinions. And then we're also going to share with you a little story about, it's probably the closest time to me ever dying. Just cut right in. I brought some hot sauce along the side here as well, just in case. But let's get one piece. Oh, wow. Oh my God. Wow. That's so good. Holy crap. I actually didn't even expect it to be that good. Just because like store-bought pierogies are such usually letdowns, to be honest. But when you dress them up, you know what? You know, do them properly. When your bacon and your onion game is this on point, then of course it's going to be proper. Halfway through I realized, I think it still would have went well, is with the onions and bacon I should have put a little balsamic in just to kind of brighten it up and have that like a little bit of tartness as well as the sweetness. It's like like almost like a balsamic bacon like jam, you know? Onion as well, obviously. It's been so long since I had pierogies. And I saw Quan Tran recently did this. And that's the first topic that I need to discuss with you guys today. He made his from scratch, of course, obviously. Mad props to him for that. I just don't got the time. I just hate, like, I fucking hate working with flour. I'll do it if I have to, but my OCD with cleanliness sort of deal, when flour gets everywhere, it just gets everywhere. It's impossible for it not to get everywhere. Your clothes, all in your fingers, hands, your kitchen. The fact that he makes, you know, all his doughs for everything is so commendable to me, because guys, I just can't do it. It honestly stresses me out so much. Anyways, on the Quan Tran topic, enough of you guys hit his wall up. We got his attention. He commented on one of my recent videos saying, "Yo, my Canadian brother," which this is a Canada battle. So maybe we can cook something Canadian, but the only thing we cook is poutine, so maybe fuck that. He hit me up. He's like, "Yo, I hear you want to battle." He told me to think of my favorite dish, and we'll execute on that. What I'm thinking is, maybe you guys can drop suggestions below. I can sift through them, and then we can set up something according to something that I pick out of what you guys leave for the epic meal battle between him and I. I can pick it down from what you guys leave. I think that's a cool way to go about it. Some audience creator intermingling. That way everybody's involved. Second thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick. The merch is coming, but the site I wanted to use, the one that was most simple, the one that I thought would be just like the best for me to use. Unfortunately, as I was uploading my images today, and I opened the store and everything today just to like test it out and see what was happening, they had this thing where my image on like the one hoodie that I wanted it to be on wouldn't, like, I couldn't get it to fit to the scale, the size where I wanted to on the actual hoodie, and it wasn't in line with how I wanted it. So as per usual for me, when things don't work out that it seems simple and are extremely frustrating, I just was like boiling. So I called the customer service line. The lady visited my site. I explained to her while she was looking at it, like, you know, what's happening and what's wrong. And she was like, "Yeah, we actually have, that's like an ongoing issue. We're trying to fix it. But yeah, like, it's just, you can't, there's no way around that." So at this moment, I have to find a new site. I think I'm going to use Shopify, but I have to go in, sign up, figure it out, learn it a bit. And then, but I have all my designs. I have the files for the designs ready. I have 4 of them. I have 2 like almost like emblem, like logo-y things, and then I have, of course, black hoodie and eat good, live well, stay true. If I can, I really want to get some hats and toques because you guys know that's my style. And the other thing too is right now it's just going to be hoodies, but like, do you guys want t-shirts? That's a question, because I feel like some people don't want to wear a hoodie. Some people would like to wear a t-shirt, and also summer's coming. You know, we're heading into March, marching into spring, and then it's summer, so you can always wear a hoodie at night or whatever, but maybe some t-shirts as well. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments. All right, now that we have that all out of the way, I'm going to do 2 things. Get more sauce, because y'all know I'm a saucy guy. I'm going to try the hot sauce as well. Just a dab, just to see how it feels. And then the second thing I'm going to do is tell you guys this quick story about my almost death. But ultimately it starts like this. I was 19 years old. Needed to get a job, as we all do, to survive and shit. Went searching around the list of Craig, and in there I was finding all types of shit. But at the time, for me, I was just like, had really no idea or cared what I did. I just wanted to get paid as much as possible. You know, for as little skill, you know what I mean? Just because I didn't have any, you know, true skills at the time, really. Like, not that I do even now, but, but you know, fresh out of high school, basically, I've worked at like some call centers and stuff, and the only reason I used to work at call centers was also because the pay was always better than, like, say, working at a fucking grocery store or some shit, right? So saw this ad for this more like industrial company looking for essentially like just ground level grunt guys to kind of give hands to these dudes who were like in the skilled trades. So it paid like $15 an hour. This was back when minimum wage was like, I want to say like maybe like $8.50 or something like that. Like, you know, decent amount of time ago. And so I was like, sick, $15 an hour for sure. That's amazing. Plus it was also 4 days on, 3 days off, 10-hour days, so 40 hours in a week, but 3 days off. And I was like, that's sick. So responded to the ad. Big bite. Got an email the next day being like, when can you start? I was like, ASAP. I got nothing going on. I have my own transportation, all that shit. Good to go. So he like tells me the whereabouts the next day, so I drive there. End up there early in the morning. End up at it's at a grain elevator. Massive ships dock at this port to drop off grain. I go in to this trailer because this company just gets hired on by other companies to come in, do the job, and then leave. So there's like the job site. You do the job for X amount of time, and then you leave on to the next place that you're hired at. So these guys were in to, right now for this job, it was paint restoration essentially for like concrete. So you had to use like harnesses and air compressors in order to power the hydraulics for these, what are they called, swing stages. So swing stages they're on like a winch, you know, a mechanical winch that you have to go up top of the building, run cable, rig the outriggers. You know, you have to throw cables down through windows from the top of buildings and wrap them around, lock them in, put the outriggers out, hook up the swing stages, and have hook up the swing stages and get them on the compressors so that, you know, they can go up and down. So it's like window washers or guys just building shit, like buildings and stuff. That's what they use to do work at heights. So it was work at heights. I had never done anything like this before. I never had to wear like a harness like that. And for things like that, you're supposed to go through like harness training. You know what I mean? You're supposed to have all these like little tickets and stuff in order to do it. But these guys didn't give a fuck. And they were just like, here's your harness. Here's like the two guys you're going to work with. They've been doing it for a while. They'll just teach you the ropes. You know, it's really not that difficult. You just have to lend hand here and there with stuff. Kind of watch to make sure that these guys' lines don't get tangled and crossed. If anything happens with the compressed air, like if it busts open or whatever and their stage no longer works, you just have to go get new hosing and attach it so that it can flow again. So I immediately already hate my life because I walk in this trailer, there's all these fucking like really like, oh fuck yeah bud kind of guys, like very like dudes, and I'm just not that like that by nature. I'm very like, yeah, I'm just like a creative or whatever. So like I can do guy shit, but I'm just not like a guy like that. Oh fuck, crack a cold one, let's get some fucking pussy in here, boys, or what the fuck, like all that type of shit. So it was just like, well, this is terrible already. As we go out, these guys are teaching me stuff, and you know, it's really not that difficult. Like I can figure it out pretty quick and nothing crazy. And so I'm working there for like a couple weeks at this point. Eventually, part of the job is to pressure wash the top of this grain elevator where they have like their color. So like it's like the color at the top of the elevator indicates where you're going. So for the ships to come in, they see like blue is Viterra and yellow is so and so, and so they needed to repaint that and make it fresh again. So in order to do that, you have to power wash and chip off all this like old concrete that has paint on it and make it like kind of nice and flush and new again in a sense. And so one day it was at the point where like they're like, hey, like we think that you can handle going to do this. And I was like, sure, yeah, no problem. So I was up at like 100 feet up, and I was actually on the fire escape, like the fire escape ladder. And so I had the harness on, and this is like the first, maybe the second time I think I'd had to wear the harness. And like I didn't really truly like it. It was kind of confusing. There's all these like different buckles and loops and shit, and like it's hard to get like to fit tight. Anyways, the one dude that I was with, he kind of helped rig it up. And so on your harness, there's this thing called a lanyard, and at the end of it, there's like a clip, and you have to throw it around. Like if you want to like lean off or like be safetied, you have to throw it around something like firm, obviously like a piece of metal that's attached to the building, and like clip it off, and so it's like snug and holds your weight. So I go out onto this ladder, and the pressure washer hose is like coming out through a window because the pressure washer is like inside the room. And so in order for me to get to the distance that I was trying to get to, I was gonna have to clip in and like lean off the ladder to like get the angle. And I'm not like really afraid of heights or anything and shit, so like I said, snowboarding, dirt biking, all that stuff, like that stuff kind of like gets me going. Like I actually kind of like enjoy it. Anyways, I don't know if you've ever seen on fire escapes, there's like at certain points, but not everywhere on the fire escape, there's certain points where there's almost like this like barrel cage that spans like 10 feet, and then the rest is like open ladder. Well, I was in that like barrel cage thing, but I was only about half in, so like maybe the mid of my back to my head was in, and then the rest of my body was out. And I went to go tie off with the lanyard, and for some reason or another, I don't know, it like I didn't notice at the time, but it didn't fully clip, like it didn't fully take. And so it's my bad, it's totally my bad, but I should have tested it. I didn't test it. And when I went to go lean out, it just fucking untethered. Tethered. It like untethered off the ladder, and there's nothing. And so like I like leaned and I fell out, and I was like, oh fuck, like, and then but luckily enough, like I'm saying, half of my back up, like I caught on like the last part of that like steel cage that wraps, and I was like half in, half out with my legs like still attached to like the ladder part, but like my body out like that way, so like this, and I was like all like fucking like whoa. And then so I had to like grab in, get back to the ladder. And I just like sat there like just in shock, obviously, and like holy fuck, like heart racing, just kind of like shaking me, like. And then I looked down and I was like, fuck, like if that was ridiculous, like I will never make that mistake again. I'll always check. And yeah, I was just like, I just rattled for a bit for sure. And just like was like very thankful that like I was at least halfway in that cage, because if I wasn't in that cage, I would have been fucking splattered on the pavement 100%. So that was like probably the closest I've ever come to death, I feel like. There's some other little times, but that one for sure was like, whoa. Wow, you really escaped one there. All right, I'm just at the point where this is like 20 pierogies or more, I think, and I gotta work in a few hours, so I hate going into work like just gutted like that, because I am on my feet for 10 hours, so I'm not gonna finish this, even though it is delicious. If you guys have some shitty pierogies at home and you want to dress them up to be better, just do what I did. It doesn't have to be all bougie, like, you know, it doesn't have to be a homemade pierogi. It doesn't have to be the best thing in the world, but just, you can flex on it a little bit and bring it up to standard, okay? It's like you giving a little makeup call. Taking it out to the bar, buying it some drinks, you get it home in the morning, and it's a store-bought pierogi again. But store-bought pierogies can pretty much be homemade pierogies, if you know what I'm saying. All right, until the next one, eat good, live well, stay true. What up?